All this extra stuff. All right, back for another Shabbat class. First of all, I'd like to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, and we do so in the name of Yahweh Shai. Uh, Passover coming up, right? Get in the spirit. Today, we ain't really got teachings. We actually going to go through the story of Samson and Delilah, right? And read about two precepts on it, and then that's the lesson for today. So we're reading the books of Judges, the whole chapters of 13, 14, 15, and 16. It's four chapters. It's the story of Samson and Delilah, right? And we're finna get into it. Is your screen sharing working? I don't see it. All right, there we go. All right, we need the book of Judges. Judges is the second book after the Torah, right? So you got the book of Joshua, which led us into the land. And before we had a king, which was King David, right? And well, before him was King Saul. But before we had kings in Israel, we had judges, right? So we're finna start from the book of Judges, chapter 13, and we're starting at the top. All right. And again, it's the story of Samson and Delilah. It's Judges 13 and 1. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord Yahweh. And the Lord Yahweh delivered them into the hand of the Philistines 40 years, right? So the Most High gave us over to some Africans, right? Verse 2. And there was a certain man named Zorah of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and bare not. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman and said unto her, Behold, now thou art bearing and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now therefore, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink, or eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come upon his head. For the child shall be a Nazarite unto the God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. So he told this woman, the wife of Manoah, he told her, an angel came to her and said, Hey, you're gonna conceive a son. Don't eat nothing unclean. Don't drink no wine or a strong drink. And when he born, you can't cut his hair. He gonna deliver Israel, or he gonna be a deliverer to Israel. What happened? He gonna be a deliverer to Israel, right? Out of the hand of the Philistines. Verse 6. And the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of God came to me. Now she don't know it's an angel. She just think it's a man. A man of God came to me, and his countenance was like the countenance. Oh, so I stand corrected. And his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of God, very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told me his name. So she like, the angel came to me, but I ain't asked no questions. Verse 7. But he said unto me, Behold, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and now drink no wine nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb unto the day of his death. Then Manoah entreated the Lord and said, O my Lord, let the man of God which thou didst send come again to us and teach us what we shall do to unto the child that shall be born. So Manoah like, hey, send that angel that you sent to my wife, send him again so we know what to do. Verse 9. And the Lord hearkened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God came again unto the woman, and she sat in the field, but Manoah, her husband, was not with her. So the angel came again, but the wife there, the husband ain't. Verse 10. And the woman made haste and ran and shewed her husband and said unto him, Behold, the man that had appeared unto me that came unto me the other day? And Manoah rose and went after his wife and came unto the man. And he said unto him, art thou the man that speakest unto the woman? And he said, I am. And Manoah said, now let the word come to pass. How shall we order the child? How shall we do unto him? So he like to ask an angel, what you say again? What you say we should supposed to do? Verse 13. And the angel of the Lord said unto Manoah, of all that I had, of all that I said unto the woman, let her beware. She may not eat of anything that cometh of the vine, neither let the drink her drink wine or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing that I have commanded her to let her observe. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord Yahweh, I pray thee, let us detain thee until we have made ready the kid for thee. So he said, hey, why don't you stay with us until all this happens? Verse 16. And the angel of the Lord said unto Manoah, though thou detain me, I will not eat of thy bread. And if thou wilt offer a burnt offering, thou must offer it unto the Lord Yahweh. For Manoah knew not that he was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord Yahweh, what is thy name? And that when thy sayings come to pass, that we may honor thee. So Manoah want to honor the dude, but he like, nah, you got to honor the Most High. Verse 18. And the angel of the Lord said unto him, while thou askest thou thus after my name, seeing it is a secret. So Manoah took the kid with the meat offering and offered it upon a rock unto the Lord Yahweh. And the angel did wondrously, and Manoah and his wife looked on. For it came to pass when the flame went up towards the heaven from the altar, that the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame of the altar. And Manoah and his wife looked at it and fell on their faces to the ground. So that's why I was saying they didn't know. So, but now they know. Verse 21. But the angel of the Lord did no more appear unto Manoah and his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said unto his wife, we shall surely die because we have seen God. They thought they seen God, but it was an angel of God. Verse 23. But his wife said unto him, if the Lord were pleased to kill us, he would have not he would have not received our burnt offering and a meat offering at our hands. Neither would he have showed us all these things, and nor would, as it is at this time, have told us of these such things. And the woman bare a son and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and the Lord Yahweh blessed him. And the spirit of the Lord began to move him at the times of the camp of Dan between Zorah and Eshtaol. Give me 1 second. All right. And we're moving on to Judges chapter 14, starting at the top. It's Judges 14:1. And Samson went down to Timnath, and saw a woman of Timnath, of the daughters of the Philistines, right? This is where the word Temanites come from, right? And he came up and told his father and mother, right? So Samson went down to Timnath, and he seen a woman of the Philistines. Verse 2, and he came up and he told his father and his mother and said, I have seen a woman of Timnath and of the daughters of the Philistines. Now, therefore, get her for me to wife. Then his father and mother said unto him, is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, among all my people, that thou shouldest go and take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? They like, hey, you can't get no Israelite wife. And Samson said unto his father, get her for me, for she pleaseth me well. But his father and mother knew not that it was of the Lord. that he sought an occasion against the Philistines. For at the time, the Philistines had dominion over Israel. So he said that the reason why this is going to happen is because the Most High wanted to happen. And all of this is going to be the downfall of the Philistines who are over Israel at the time, right? Verse 4 said they had dominion over Israel. Verse 5, when Samson down and his father and his mother to Tanakh and came to the vineyards of the Tanakh, and behold, a young lion roared against him. And the spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he rented as he would have rented a kid, and he had nothing in his hand, and he told his father and mother not what he has done. So the lion came, he killed the lion, right? Like he would kill a kid, like a little animal, right? Verse 7, and he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And after that time, he returned to take her. And as he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion, and behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey on the carcass of lion. He took thereof in his hand and went on eating. And he came to his father and mother and gave to them, and they did eat. And he did not tell them that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. So the father went down to the woman. So his father went down into the woman, and Samson made a feast, for so used the young man to do. And it came to pass when they saw him, they were brought 30 companions to be with him, right? So he done killed the lion, he done got the girl, right? Now they finna have a feast. So the Africans gave him 30 people, the homeboys supposedly, right? Verse 12. And is it verse 12? Yes, verse 12. And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If you can certainly declare it me within the 7 days of the feast and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 changes of garment. For if ye cannot declare it to me, then shall ye give me 30 sheets and 30 changes of garments. And they said unto him, put forth thy riddle that we may hear it. So he said, hey, I got a riddle for y'all there at the feast. He said, if y'all get the riddle, I'm gonna pay y'all buku money. I'm gonna give y'all all kind of stuff. But if y'all don't get it in 7 days, then y'all gotta pay me, right? Verse 14, and he said unto them, out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness, and they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they said unto Samson's wife, entice thy husband, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee in thy father's house with fire. Have ye called us to take that we have? Is it not so? So now this a Canaanite woman that he married, right? A Hamite, a Philistine, right? The other Philistines done came to her and like, hey, you go to your husband and to get the answer to that riddle, cause he ain't finna take all we got, and if you don't do it, we gonna burn down you and your hot father's house. So they done threatened her, right? Verse 16, and Samson's wife wept before him and said, thou doest but hate me, and love me not. Thou hast put forth the riddle unto the children of my people, and has not told it me. And he said unto her, behold, I have not told it to my father nor my mother, and shall I tell it to thee? And she wept him 7 days while the feast lasted. And it came unto pass on the 7th day that he told her, because she laid sore upon him, and she told the riddle unto the children of her people. And the men of the city said unto him on the 7th day before the sun went down, what is sweeter than the honey, and what is stronger than the lion? And he said unto them, if ye have not plowed with my heifer, ye have not found out the riddle. He said, look, if y'all didn't do that to my wife, y'all wouldn't even found this out. Now he mad, right? Verse 19, and the spirit of the Lord came upon him. So now the Spirit of the Lord is in Samson. And he went down to Ashlon and slew 30 men of them, and took their spoils, and gave change of garments up to them, which expounded the riddle. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. But Samson's wife was given to his companions, whom he had used as his friends. So boom, he went to go kill. Hold on, go back to the end. Samson, when he lost the bet, right? He went down to Ashlon, killed a bunch of people, took some heathen stuff, right? And then went back to the people and gave it to them. Now we have verse chapter 15, right? Salakia. Judges chapter 15 and 1. And it came to pass within a while after, in the time of wheat harvest, that Samson visited his wife and with a kid. And he said, I will go to my wife into the chamber. But the father did not suffer him to go in. So now after the wheat harvest, he finna go back and visit his wife, right? But the daddy of the woman, like, nah, you can't do that. Verse 2. And the father said, I verily thought that thou hast utterly hated her. Therefore I gave her into thy companions. This is not her younger sister fairer than she? Take her, I pray thee, instead of her. So they gave her to somebody else, the 30 dudes. So he like, yeah, you could just take my other daughter. And Samson said concerning them, verse 3. And Samson said concerning them, now I shall be more blameless than the Philistines, though I do them a displeasure. And Samson went and caught 300 foxes, and took fire bands, and turned tail to tail, and put the fire band in the midst of between the tails. And when he had set the bands on fire, he let them go into the standing corn of the Philistines, and burnt up both the shocks and also the standing corn with the vineyard and the olives. So he took a bunch of foxes, he put some fire on them, and had them running around, and they burnt up everything. Verse 6. And the Philistines said, who have done this? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Temanite, because he had taken his wife and given her to his companions. And the Philistines came up and burnt her and her father with fire. I'm finna stop right here. Now, this woman got threatened, and this is why you shouldn't go against your husband. This is a lesson for women right here. This woman went against her husband because she got threatened. They said, we're going to burn up your husband, your dad's house if you don't do it, right? She did what they said do, and when Samson came back and got revenge, they still killed her, right? So let me read it one more time. This is verse 6. Then the Philistines said, who have done this? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Temanite, because he had taken his wife and given her to his companions. And the Philistines came up and burnt her and her father with fire. They still killed him. She was better off not listening to him, right? Let's keep reading. And Samson said unto them, though ye have done this, yet I will be avenged, but yet will I be avenged of you. And after that I will cease. And he smote them hip and thigh with a great slaughter. And he went down and dwelt at the top of the rock of Etam, right? And the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah and spread themselves in Lehi, right? So look, Samson went to go kill a bunch of Philistines, and he went up on this little mountain rock, right? The Philistines went to Judah and started pressing them and said, hey, the only reason we doing this because of Samson, right? So that's what's going to happen. It's, verse 9, the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah and spread themselves in Lehi, right? And the men of Judah said, why are ye come up against us? And they answered, to bind Samson. Are we to come up to bind Samson, or to we to come up to do unto him as he have done unto us? So they say, we are for Samson. We trying to get some get back. Verse 11. Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock of Etam and said unto Samson, Knowest thou not that the Philistines are the rulers over us? What is this? What is this that thou hast done unto us? And he said unto them, as they did unto me, so I have done unto them. So children of Judah went up to Samson, like, hey, they basically run us. Like, why you do this? He said, I just did what they did to me. Verse 12. And they said unto him, we are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee to the hand of the Philistines. And Samson said unto them, swear unto me that ye will not fall upon me yourselves. So the children of Judah, like, hey, we came here to arrest you, put you in chains, bro. And then Samson, like, yeah, well, y'all promise me right now, y'all ain't gonna do nothing to me. Not one of y'all. No, nobody of my people, right? Verse 13. And they spake unto him, saying, no, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hands. But surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with 2 cords, and they brought him from the rock, right? And they brought him from the rock. And when he had came to Lai, the Philistines shouted against him. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became flax and was burnt with fire, and his bands were loosened off of his hands. And he found a jawbone of an ass and put forth in his hand and took it and slew 1,000 men wherewith. Right? Wherewith. And Samson, verse 16, and Samson said, with the jawbone of an ass heap upon heaps, and the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking, he cast away the jawbone out of his hand and called the place Ramathalah, right? So he killed all the dudes and he named the place. Killed all the Philistines. Verse 18. And he was sore athirst. He thirsty now. He done used all his energy and everything killing the people. Verse 18. And he was sore athirst and called upon Yahweh and said, thou hast given me this great deliverance into the hand of thy servant. And now I shall die of thirst and fall into the hands of the uncircumcised. But God clave a hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came out water thereout, just like how the Most High made water come from a rock. In this place, the jaw of the donkey, water just came out the side of his face, right? Boom. And when he had drunk, his spirit came again, and he was revived. Wherefore he called the name, therefore, Anachor, which is in Leah unto this day. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years, right? So boom. Now we at the last chapter, verse 16. Now this is where the Delilah comes in, right? And now let's take a step back, because Samson is a deliverer of Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. So Samson is finna deliver us out of the hands of the Philistines, right? That he's a savior or a deliverer, right? You can read the last verse in a book of well, I'm gonna get it once I get done with this chapter. This Judges chapter 16 and verse 1. Then when Samson went to Gaza and saw there a harlot, and went unto her, and it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson has come hither, and they compassed him and laid wait for him all night in the gates of the city, and were quiet all night, saying, in this morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. So they land in his grass, they land in his bushes, they waiting on him, right? But the people of Gaza are Philistines also, right? Let's keep going. Verse 3. And Samson laid until midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors off the gates of the city, then the 2 posts, and went away with them. bar and all, and put them up on his shoulders, and carried them to the top of the hill that is before her. And it came to pass afterwards that he loved the woman in the valley of Sorek, and her whose name was Delilah, right? And the Lord of the Philistines came up unto her and said unto her, entice him and see wherewith he gets his great strength, see wherein his great strength lieth. And by that means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him, and we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. So they said, hey, the dude that like you, yeah, he done killed a bunch of us. Hey, find out what his strength is. If you do it, each one of us gonna give you 100 bands, right? 100 bands, each one of us, right? And when we get them, we gonna torture him, 5 people, right? So that's what's going on. Verse 6. And Delilah said unto Samson, tell me, I pray thee, wherein thou great strength liest, and wherewith thou might be bound to there, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. And Samson said unto her, if thou bind me with 7 green withs that were never dried, then shall I be weak, and as another man. Then the Lord of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green withs, which have not been dried, and she bound him with them. So now, she like, let me tell me how you get your strength, right? I'm gonna bound you and see if it's true, right? But but let's keep going. Verse 9. And there were men lying wait, abiding with her in the chamber. So while she doing all this, he think it's just her and him. Meanwhile, she got a bunch of dudes waiting back, right? With like a little secret trap door. They just waiting, right? Verse 10 of the verse 9. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding in her chamber, with her in her chamber. And she said unto them, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson, and he break the wifts of the thread of the toe, which is broken. The toe is broken with the touch when it touches the fire, and his strength was not known. So basically, she was like, I hear they come, and he just broke it off, right? But they ain't coming right then and there. They need to know he weak, right? When he broke it right off, they ain't come. And he said unto her, verse 10, and Delilah said unto Samson, behold, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if they bind me fast with new ropes, and never were occupied, then shall I be weak and be as another man. And Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound them wherewith, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee. And Samson went, and there were liars and waiters abiding in the chamber, and he broke them off of his arms like a thread. And Delilah said unto Samson, hither unto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web, and she fastened it with the pin, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awaked out of his sleep and went away with the pin of the beam and with the web. And she said, how canst thou say, I love thee, and thy heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me in these 3 times, and hast not told me wherein thou great strength lieth. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, and urged him, and that his soul was vexed unto death, that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, there have not come a razor upon my head, and I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I will become weak and be like other men. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called the lords of the Philistines, saying, "Come up this once, for he hath shewed me all his heart." Then the Lord of the Philistines came up unto her and brought money in her hand. And she made him sleep upon her knee. And she called for a man, for she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And then she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, "The Philistines be upon thee, Samson." Salakia. So the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he woke out of his sleep and said, "I will go out as of times before and shake myself." And he risked not that the Lord was departed from him. So he didn't know the Lord had departed from him. But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with fetters of brass. And he did grind in the prison house. So now Samson ain't got no eyes. He can't see, right? Her gone, no strength, no eyes, because he told his heart to the harlot. Verse 22, howbeit the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. And the Lord of the Philistines gathered them together for to offer a great sacrifice to the dragon their God. So they finna give a dragon praise for capturing Samson, right? They fake God, right? Because these some heathens, right? Verse 23, and the Lord of the Philistines gathered together to offer a great sacrifice unto dragon their God, and to rejoice, for they said, "Our God have delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hands." Madness. Verse 24, then the people saw him and praised their God and said, "Our God have delivered unto our hands our enemy, the destroyer of our country. We have slew many of us." And it came to pass, when their hearts were merry, they said, "Call for Samson, that he may make us sport." So they said, "Hey, go get Samson." They finna torture him like a sport. And they called for Samson out of the prison house, and he made them sport. And they set him between the pillars, right? The pillars are what holds up the house, right? And Samson said unto the lad that held by him by the hand, because Samson can't see, he ain't got no eyes. So the CO that's walking him out, verse 26, and Samson said to the lad that held him by the hand, "Suffer me that I may feel the pillars whereupon the house standeth, that I may lean upon them." Verse 27, now the house was full of men and women, and all the lords of the Philistines were there. And there were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women that beheld while Samson made sport. And Samson called unto the Lord Yahweh and said, "O Yahweh, O Lord God, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me, I pray thee, only this once, O God, that I may at this once avenge the Philistines for my 2 eyes." And Samson took hold of the 2 middle pillars upon the house which the house stood, and on which it was bore up, of one of his right hands and the other with his left. And Samson said, "Let me die with the Philistines." And he bowed himself with all his might. And the house fell upon the lords and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life. And then his brethren and all the house of his fathers came down and took him and brought him up and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol in the burying place of Manoah, his father, and he judged Israel 20 years. All right. I need a couple of precepts. First of all, give me Obadiah, the last verse in the chapter. One second. Okay. So this Obadiah, Obadiah 1 and 21. And it says, and saviors shall come up on the Mount Zion to judge the Mount of Esau, and the kingdoms shall be of the Lord's. And the reason I pulled this because Samson was a deliverer, and a lot of people believe Christ is the only savior. But that's not true. The Most High sent many saviors or deliverers to deliver us. Samson delivered us out of the hand of the Philistines. Moses delivered us out of the hands of the Egyptians, so on and so forth. All right. Now give me Proverbs 31 and 3. This is Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 3. It says, give not thy strength into women, nor thy ways to which destroyeth kings. So giving your power to a woman, and not only do it destroy a regular man, it can destroy a king, right? And the reason is because give me 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. First Corinthians 11 and 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God, right? So we are supposed to be leaders to the women. Don't give your strength into a woman. You dig what I'm saying? But the story of Samson is really the Most High delivering Israel through his mechanisms. But the point is, don't give your strength into a woman, right? And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. And I do so in the name of Yahweh Shai, Shabbat Shalom, Ashar, Shabbat, and Kwam Yasharala.